Hello, beautiful beings. Welcome to my channel. My name is Larissa, nutritionist, chef, and transformation coach. And in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the controversial statement that you do not need protein to build muscle. Let's get into it. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing my passionate outlook on the fact that you do not require protein, especially from animal products, to build muscle, thrive, and have a healthy, strong body. The fitness industry has especially been pushing a high protein diet, all these protein powders, whey protein, eat your meat, get your protein. I was even under the impression growing up that I required protein for energy and to stay focused in school. I remember snacking on protein bars all the time, drinking protein shakes, and eating, every animal product under the sun because I thought I needed it to be healthy, to build muscle, to have energy. And following the food pyramid growing up, being taught this idea that we require these certain foods that we really don't in order to thrive, be healthy, and build muscle. The protein industry is $1 trillion business when you're talking about the animal agriculture industry and all the supplements. And it's really just marketing that's pushed on us when truly all we need to thrive is the food from the earth that is designed for our bodies and the nutrition that comes straight from the source, from plant foods, that is in the most bioavailable form for our bodies, skipping the middleman rather than absorbing your essential amino acids through the dead bodies of animals or highly processed supplements. You could just go straight to the source to get the most bioavailable form of the nutrients that you truly need to build muscle and have a healthy, thriving body. And it's actually really funny to me that as a vegan, the number one question I get asked is, where do I get my protein? When in fact, most people are getting way too much protein than their bodies actually need, which puts stress on the kidneys. And it's so easy to meet your protein requirements, honestly, if you're eating whole foods, and even if it's whole food plant-based, you're gonna get all the protein that you need. But more importantly, every essential amino acid comes from plants. So once again, we don't need to filter these essential nutrients through another living being's body to get that amino acid. Because as soon as your body intakes protein, it's gonna break it down into amino acids before it can even use it. So when you're consuming whole plant foods that have these essential amino acids, the body doesn't have to go through that extra process of breaking proteins back down into simple amino acids and then building them back into the proteins that it needs to build, whether that's for building muscle, for tissues, for collagen. The plant foods have the bioavailable form of simple amino acids that the body can intake and build new proteins from. A great analogy is if you were to build a house from the ground up, it would take extra work to buy a house that's already built, tear it down, and then build a new house from those same materials. Instead, you would just buy some land and then buy some building material and build the house from the ground up, skipping that extra step of tearing that old house down, using the old material, and now you have a less solid foundation to build from. You went through more work to get to this new structure. So you might as well just give your body ease, give it the building blocks that it requires to build these proteins. Plant foods are just way more in harmony with our body in general. And I've felt so much better year by year on this beautiful plant-based diet. And after 8 years of living on this high, raw, living, fruit-based, plant-based diet, I can easily say I have no problem building muscle and having nice collagen-rich skin, and I've never felt better. And when I was in the past taking a lot of protein, using a lot of protein supplements, eating a lot of meat, dairy, eggs, I was way more inflamed. I had way worse digestion. I was constantly bloated and sluggish, and I was just less efficient at building muscle, honestly. Now my body's way more efficient because I'm giving it what is more in alignment with my physiology, and it is just completely evident just how big of a difference how much more efficient my body runs. When you look at some of the largest, strongest land animals on this planet, like gorillas and elephants, they have huge muscles and they are plant-based beings as well. And you don't ever ask them where they get their protein from. They get it from plants, of course. And when we're talking about energy, because a lot of people are under the illusion that protein gives the body energy, as I once thought when I was younger, because it was really pushed on us heavily through marketing that, oh, eat your protein to have energy for your day. Well, that is a huge myth. Your body's preferred source of energy is sugar, carbohydrates, glucose. And yes, your body can derive energy from fats and proteins, but that's only in a glucose deficient state. The body will go through a complicated process called gluconeogenesis, where it can convert fats or proteins into glucose to derive energy, which tells you right there that the body prefers to run on glucose. If it's going to convert these other macronutrients into that type of energy. And once again, it's just putting extra strain and extra effort on your body to work efficiently. So if you give your body its preferred source of energy, a high carbohydrate diet full of raw living fruits, you're gonna have way more energy and you're gonna be able to easily replenish your glycogen stores after a nice workout, because that is the energy source that your muscles use during a workout. And it is what depletes in your muscles during a workout is the glycogen, which, is stored glucose. So refueling your glucose stores, your glycogen stores after a workout, having a nice, fruity, sweet, juicy, hydrating meal is gonna be the best thing post-workout. I usually work out early in the day fasted, but fruit is also, if you're gonna have something beforehand, fruit is gonna be the best pre-workout as well because of the energy that it gives you. Because once again, your body runs on glucose. So don't be afraid of sugar. It's what fuels every cell in your body. And I was actually able to reverse my pre-diabetes on this high carb, low fat, plant-based lifestyle. And I go a lot into, the fear of sugar that has been pushed on us and how I healed, as well as many, many, many other people have healed on the fruit-based lifestyle. I go deep into that in some of my other videos, so check them out. But the main theme is to not be afraid of carbohydrates, especially fruit sugar. It's the best thing for your body, and it is your body's biological, most compatible food source that nature created perfectly for us. And we absolutely thrive on a high fruit diet. And I'm living proof of that for doing this for 8 years, as well as thousands of other people, many of my friends. And everyone I know on this lifestyle is literally the healthiest, most vibrant person I've ever met. People I've met in their 60s, 70s, 80s, living this way for over decades, and they look 20 years younger than their age. I mean, the truth is, a high protein diet, a high animal product diet can really age you, really deteriorate your body, put strain on your kidneys, like I mentioned. Excess protein is very acidic on the body. The waste products from animal protein are ammonia, urea, and nitrogen, which once again are very aging to the body and acidic. And a lot of the times, the high protein foods that people are eating, especially animal products, aren't even very great sources of protein, but they're actually much higher in fats, saturated fats, cholesterol. And yeah, when you think about like eggs and bacon and red meat and even white meat like chicken and fish, it's very, very, very high in saturated fat, which is not good for your overall health. We've known this for years. Countless studies have been done on the detrimental effects of a high animal product diet due to all that saturated fat and cholesterol. And I have no idea why in recent years the opposite has been being pushed. I mean, it only makes sense because, the more that these industries can control us, and the pharmaceutical industry benefits as well, the more people that are sick and on medication, the easier a population is to control, and the less sovereign we are, the less in our power we are. So it only makes sense why so many lies are being pushed. But it is so sad to see people falling for it. And I once did as well, because before I was vegan, I fell for the whole paleo thing. And, I thought I was doing the right thing. And I was in certain ways by removing the processed foods from my diet, I felt a little bit better, but I was never able to heal and completely reverse my previous health conditions like prediabetes and PCOS and my hormone imbalances and my chronic acne. I was never able to reverse those things until I began this living foods plant-based diet. And like I keep mentioning in this video, I've never had a problem building muscle on this lifestyle, and I am the most fit I've ever been. I am the healthiest I've ever been, and it feels amazing. And that's why I'm so passionate about sharing this information with you. And since the foods that I eat now are the most anti-inflammatory foods versus protein being some of the most inflammatory, I recover so much quicker from my workouts, I'm less sore, and I just feel like I can be so active and energetic every single day compared to how I felt on the high animal product, high protein based approach, even on the healthier way of doing it. And yes, that was a step in the right direction for me on my journey, but now, I'm so glad I have truly found my species specific diet as a human being on this beautiful planet. And so grateful to not have to contribute to harming other animals that we share this planet with. I don't have to, once again, filter my nutrients through their bodies. They're getting their nutrients from plants, and then a lot of humans are filtering those plant nutrients through their bodies when you could go straight to the source, because we're not meant to eat meat, and we are not designed like carnivores or omnivores. And I have a whole video on this called Are Humans Frugivores that goes deep into detail on the biological differences of humans, which are frugivores, versus carnivores and omnivores, which are different species than us. And if you want to learn more about that, then check that video out, because it is super, super in-depth and full of scientific detail about our biology and physiology. If you're a science nerd like me, then you might find that video very insightful. So if your goal is to be your most vibrant, strong, radiant, and healthy self, then this is the diet and lifestyle for you. This is the best way to contribute to raising the vibration of not just yourself, but this planet, the world around you, your relationships. Everything in your life is going to shift for the better when you eat more raw living plant foods. And yes, you can build muscle, you can get really strong. I have tons of wonderful friends, especially some of my male friends that are on this lifestyle that work out really hard in the gym, that are bodybuilders and look amazing, and they're not all inflamed and puffy like a lot of the other bodybuilders that look like they're on the verge of having a heart attack. They look strong and fit and healthy, but not like they're all pumped up on steroids. And that's what this is really about. It's about health and longevity, not just big bulky muscles that get you nowhere in life other than just a certain physique. Like, it shouldn't be just about physique, it should be about health, longevity, feeling and looking amazing. And you can get there through the real foods that your body is designed to eat. If you truly learn to love yourself, then that is what you will prioritize, rather than being ruled by insecurity and focusing purely on just how big your muscles look, and doing whatever it takes, even if that's not a healthy decision. So your health matters too much to harm it in order to look a certain way. And you can get the physique of your dreams by eating a healthy diet and moving your body, because that's the other key. A lot of people see so many skinny vegans and they're like, oh, well, you know, clearly the plant-based diet makes you too skinny. Or some people think it makes you fat. People are always gonna say one thing or the other, but at the end of the day, we don't necessarily build muscle from protein or from how we eat. Muscle is built through working your muscles, through movement, through lifting weights, through calisthenics, you know, working your body, moving your body. And it's a huge aspect of health. Health is not just nutrition. Health is nutrition, moving your body, getting outside in nature, fresh air, sunshine, healthy relationships. All of these things matter. So if you see a bunch of skinny vegans, well, maybe they're not hitting the gym. Maybe it's not just the diet that's the problem with certain people that you see that are quote unquote skinny. You know, you can't blame someone for not having muscle just because they're vegan if they're not working out. But the vegans that I know that work out, even the fruit-based ones, the raw vegans, if they work out, they build muscle effortlessly. It's all in how you train too. You know, are they focused on cardio or are they focused on muscle building? How you train is gonna determine how your body looks as well. And so you can't just judge vegans as a whole and say, oh, well, it doesn't work for building muscle, when in fact there are many very strong vegans, but maybe not enough of them work out. So if you are vegan, let this be a motivation to show up for the vegan movement and get nice and fit and healthy for our movement to shine even brighter. Be that example. You know, I might not be a huge bodybuilder woman like some girls out there, but I still do my best to keep my body nice and fit, to show that you can build muscle. And I think I'm doing a really great job, because I've never felt this great in my body in my life. I feel so confident. I feel amazing, sexy. I feel like I'm not too skinny. I'm curvy, I'm feminine, I'm womanly, but I'm also strong and, you know, lean and tight and fit. And that's how I want to be. That's how I want to feel in my body, confident, sexy, and strong. And that more so comes from how I move my body, whereas my diet just helps me to stay lean and healthy. And, you know, like I said, it's anti-inflammatory. It helps me recover faster. It gives me the energy. It gives me the motivation and the positivity to want to move my body. And not just the diet, but the mindset practices that I've instilled within myself as well. So health is a holistic matter, and this is the exact approach that I take with my one-on-one clients, is working from the inside out, helping to reprogram the subconscious mind and create the life of your dreams through instilling a shift in your mindset, your daily practices, and giving you the practical tools that you need to succeed. I also have created some wonderful ebooks to help you on your journey, so check those out down in the description box below. I have a super amazing, delicious recipe ebook full of raw vegan recipes that are very simple, easy to make. They don't require any fancy equipment or ingredients. And then I also have a transitioning to raw vegan guidebook that will answer all of your questions on how to transition to this amazing lifestyle. And you can get those 2 ebooks in a bundle. And if you are interested in my 6-week program, working with me one-on-one, that will be linked down below as well. Thank you all for checking out this video. I'm sending you all so much love on this beautiful day, and I will see you in another video very soon. Bye.